Filming yourself alone in public is one of the most awkward things you can do as a creator. You hit record and then all of a sudden it feels like everyone is watching you. But the truth is, honestly, every creator has felt that same thing, and it is super awkward. But there are a few simple things that you can do to make the process of filming yourself a whole lot easier, to the point where you actually might start enjoying it. So if you never filmed yourself before, the first thing you've got to start building is confidence. And you do this by repetition, just doing it more and more. And the more you start recording yourself in different environments, in different situations, the more comfortable you're going to start feeling doing it out in public. So not only will your confidence increase the more you start to record in public, but also you'll start to understand the types of shots and the variety of shots that you need to get in order to fill your whole story. When you're first starting out, it's hard to know what you actually need to record and what won't make the edit, but the more time you spend recording yourself, you'll start to learn what actually gets used. So the big thing is don't overthink it at first. The first few times too are gonna be super awkward, and it probably won't be your best videos ever, but you've just gotta hit record. So the next thing you want to think about is purchasing gear that's going to help remove the friction when it comes to record content. And there's two pieces of gear I've been using lately for a lot of my vlogging type videos and anytime I need to record myself. The first thing is just my smartphone. So I'm shooting on mostly the iPhone 16 Pro for all of my YouTube content. And this has become just my everyday tool that I carry anytime I need to record videos. Your smartphone is usually the best tool to start because it's already on you and it takes high quality 4K video with multiple different frame rates, and the images out of smartphones nowadays are just so awesome. So it's a no-brainer just to start with your smartphone. Now, I'm actually recording most of this video on this camera I recently picked up. It's the Insta360 Go Ultra, and I really like this camera because it's so tiny and portable, and I can mount it in a bunch of different ways to get things like point of view shots, and even it has a magnet on it, so I can magnetically attach it to any metal surface, which is really neat to get some creative angles. I don't necessarily have to bring a tripod with me, which is really convenient. And the key things about these two types of cameras are they are very small and not intimidating, so it'll give you confidence as you're out recording, but also not draw as much attention to yourself, because if you have a big like DSLR mirrorless camera with a really large lens on the end of it, it can draw a lot of attention to yourself. But a compact, simple setup like this, I think, is the way to go, especially if you're just starting out. So basically for this whole video, I'm using the Insta360 Go Ultra and my smartphone to capture all of the content, and it's really user-friendly. Now, when it comes to trying to get creative angles for recording your videos, how do you make sure not every single shot looks exactly the same like the last shot? Well, here are 10 creative shot ideas you can try to implement when you're recording your own videos. So the first is the wide shot, and this is just going to establish your scene and give the viewer context for what location you're filming in. It's a really easy shot and one you've probably seen before, so try to work in some wide shots into your production workflow. The next shot is POV, or point of view shots, and one of my favorite cameras to do this with is the Insta360 Go Ultra. It's one of the reasons why I chose it as the camera to film this video, because there's so many different ways you can magnetically attach this to your body to get some POV work. But you don't have to use a camera like this. You can even use your smartphone and just rig it up in different ways on your body to get that point of view perspective. For me, this is really nice for unboxing type videos or working at my workstation. I love implementing these POV shots. There's also just like a standard mid shot, and this is really good for just generic B-roll or informational type videos. Mid shots are great because they kind of fill in the gaps of your story just to get you that standard composition, and it's a great type of shot to fall back on. Another really common shot type is the walking handheld shot. This is really common for vlogging scenarios where you point a camera toward yourself and it adds a lot of movement and energy to the frame. So this is great if you want things to feel a little bit more exciting. You can leverage this walking handheld style shot. Now there's also some different tracking or dolly style shots where the camera is like moving in the frame, following a subject potentially, or pushing through a doorway, or tracking a really interesting object from left to right. Different ways you can leverage tracking and dolly type shots, but again, the movement of the shot is what looks so beautiful. Now, if you have some sort of gimbal, you could set it to track you as you move around the frame. Otherwise, you actually might be behind the camera as you record the world in front of you. Then there's also a close-up shot. So these are fun shots to get where you zoom your camera lens in really tight on a specific subject, and this will put emphasis on a specific object or portion of your frame that you want your viewer to be paying attention to. These close-up shots are really fun to grab. You could also try over-the-shoulder shots. I use these all of the time at my workstation if I'm showcasing what's on my computer monitor, and it's just a creative angle that adds a unique perspective when you have a camera locked off on a tripod, so you could try out the over-the shoulder shot. Another fun angle are reflection shots, and there's lots of ways to leverage reflections. You could do this with a mirror, or even like a rear view mirror in your car is kind of a fun reflection style shot, or even water as well. Lots of different ways you can get reflections. Time lapses are also a really fun way to film yourself. I do these sometimes as I'm setting up tech in my studio or recording different videos. It's just fun to have that time lapse perspective to showcase the passage of time. And then finally, there's just talking head style shots where the camera is locked off on a tripod and you're talking directly to the camera, delivering your content. This is great for standard YouTube style videos or podcasting or interviews. And if you're recording yourself from home, one of our favorite ways to record videos that is really easy and beginner friendly is with a tool called Riverside, who partnered with us on today's video. Riverside used to mainly be for remote interviews, but now it lets you record, edit, host, and publish videos all in one place, which makes the entire process way easier. You can record videos from your home workstation in up to 4K quality and get clean studio audio right from your workstation. And if you ever want to experiment recording with guests, you can actually just send a guest one simple link and they can click that link to join your studio session instantly. What's great too about Riverside is it records everything locally to each participant's device. So you and your guests will walk away with a high quality video and audio file that you can use for editing later. This means that even if your internet or your guest's internet was laggy at all, you won't lose any parts of the conversation and everything will still be super high quality. And once your conversation is done, you can actually edit your entire episode right there inside of Riverside, and they have a ton of great AI tools to speed up your editing workflow if you've never done it before. And if you ever decide you want to launch a podcast one day, Riverside is also a distribution platform. This means that right there from your Riverside account, you can distribute your podcast to places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube all from one place, and you don't have to try to manually upload episodes to every platform. So if you want to give Riverside a try, we'll link it down in the description below, and you can use code ThinkMedia when you check out to get 1 month free of their Pro plan. Now, there are a couple of workflow pieces that I think will make the experience of recording yourself a whole lot easier. And the first is having some sort of outline or notes in your phone just to guide you as you're recording yourself. So today for this video, I just have a list of those like 5 or 6 bullet points that I'm going to talk about in this video that I can use as a guide so that once I get out here to start filming, I don't just like have that blank stare of like, wait, like what was I talking about? I can just fall back on those notes to guide me through the content delivery of my videos. And then I'll also list out a few creative shot ideas that I can grab while I'm out filming my video as well. It's also smart to keep a basic checklist of the tech that you'll need for when you start recording your video. We use this acronym that I'll put right here on screen, AVLS. It stands for audio, video, lighting, and stabilization. You want to think about each individual piece. What is your lighting setup going to be? Are you going to have a tripod or a gimbal to set up your smartphone or your camera? These are the 4 main pieces we teach people to think about when recording their video, and it's really smart to outline them before you start recording. And this final tip is to think about your recording environment before you start filming, and even just like have the awareness level of how your environment might affect your confidence and your ability just to record content at all. Like for these last couple sections of this video, I came to a local park here in my hometown city that's like super low key. There's not really a whole lot of people around. And yeah, there are some people that like walk along this path and will give me some weird funny stares from time to time, but this is a way more low pressure situation than like recording in a public airport or at a theme park like Disneyland where thousands of people are walking all around you and giving you weird stares. That's gonna be a whole lot more high pressure. So just start really small. You can start in your bedroom or your home office, just learning to record yourself. And then as you go into public spaces, start with like a simple city park where there's not a whole lot of people around, and you can start growing your confidence to record in busier spaces. Now, if you're specifically interested in learning how to vlog, you can click or tap the screen right here to watch this video that I did, where I did some vlogging tips at Disneyland. It's a super fun video you can watch, and I'll see you in the next one.